It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Wheresoever you go, go with all your heart. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. Study the past, if you would define the future. The funniest people are the saddest ones. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. To be wronged is nothing, unless you continue to remember it. Respect yourself, and others will respect you. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. When you see a good person, think of becoming like her or him. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Attack the evil that is within yourself, rather than attacking the evil that is in others. You cannot open a book without learning something. What the superior man seeks is in himself. What the small man seeks is in others. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. The hardest thing of all is to find a black cat in a dark room, especially if there is no cat. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. We have 2 lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. Give a bowl of rice to a man, and you will feed him for a day. Teach him how to grow his own rice, and you will save his life. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. The way out is through the door. Why is it that no one will use this method? It is not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities that should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. The man of wisdom is never of 2 minds. The man of benevolence never worries. The man of courage is never afraid. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. And remember, no matter where you go, there you are. If what one has to say is not better than silence, then one should keep silent. Hold faithfulness and sincerity as first principles. To be wealthy and honored in an unjust society is a disgrace. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. To put the world in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life. We must first set our hearts right. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Forget injuries, never forget kindnesses. Don't do unto others what you don't want done unto you. If your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. A lion chased me up a tree, and I greatly enjoyed the view from the top. Education breeds confidence. Confidence breeds hope. Hope breeds peace. To see what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. The beginning of wisdom is to call things by their proper name. When a wise man points at the moon, the imbecile examines the finger. Time flows away like the water in the river. Don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof when your own doorstep is unclean. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. Without knowing the force of words, it is impossible to know more. The man who says he can and the man who says he cannot are both correct. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Consideration for others is the basis of a good life, a good society. If you are courteous, you will not be disrespected. If you are generous, you will gain everything. If you are honest, people will rely on you. If you are persistent, you will get results. If you are kind, you can employ people. Have no friends not equal to yourself. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Never give a sword to a man who can't dance. The noble-minded are calm and steady. Little people are forever fussing and fretting. Roads were made for journeys, not destinations. The nobler sort of man emphasizes the good qualities in others and does not accentuate the bad. The inferior does. If your conduct is determined solely by considerations of profit, you will arouse great resentment. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. A true teacher is one who, keeping the past alive, is also able to understand the present. Worry not that no one knows you. Seek to be worth knowing. A common man marvels at uncommon things. A wise man marvels at the commonplace. If there is righteousness in the heart, there will be beauty in the character. If there is beauty in the character, there will be harmony in the home. If there is harmony in the home, there will be order in the nations. When there is order in the nations, there will be peace in the world. Those who know the truth are not equal to those who love it. By nature, men are nearly alike. By practice, they get to be wide apart. Behind every smile, there's teeth. When the wind blows, the grass bends. If one should desire to know whether a kingdom is well governed, if its morals are good or bad, the quality of its music will furnish the answer. The gentleman understands what is right, whereas the petty man understands profit. He who knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him. He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. Shun him. Knowledge is merely brilliance in organization of ideas, and not wisdom. The truly wise person goes beyond knowledge. Settle one difficulty, and you keep 100 away. Fix your mind on truth, hold firm to virtue, rely on loving kindness, and find your recreation in the arts. The green reed which bends in the wind is stronger than the mighty oak which breaks in a storm. No lake so still, but it has its wave. No circle so perfect, but that it has its blur. I would change things for you if I could. As I can't, you must take them as they are. If you look into your own heart, and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? The way of the superior person is threefold. Virtuous, they are free from anxieties. Wise, they are free from perplexities. And bold, they are free from fear. You will never know how sharp a sword is, unless it's drawn from its sheath. Learn as if you were not reaching your goal, and as though you were scared of missing it. Never contract friendship with a man that is not better than thyself. Faced with what is right, to leave it undone shows a lack of courage. The superior man, when resting in safety, does not forget that danger may come. When in a state of security, he does not forget the possibility of ruin. When all is orderly, he does not forget that disorder may come. Thus his person is not endangered, and his states and all their clans are preserved. One joy dispels 100 cares. It is easy to hate, and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. A true gentleman is one who has set his heart upon the way. A fellow who is ashamed merely of shabby clothing or modest meals is not even worth conversing with. A youth is to be regarded with respect. How do we know that his future will not be equal to our present? Be not ashamed of mistakes and thus make them crimes. Some are born with knowledge, some derive it from study, and some acquire it only after a painful realization of their ignorance. But the knowledge being possessed, it comes to the same thing. Some study with a natural ease, some from a desire for advantages, and some by strenuous effort. But the achievement being made, it comes to the same thing. The scholar does not consider gold and jade to be precious treasures, but loyalty and good faith. If there were one word that could act as a standard of conduct for one's entire life, perhaps it would be thoughtfulness. At 15, I set my heart upon learning. At 30, I had planted my feet firm upon the ground. At 40, I no longer suffered from perplexities. At 50, I knew what were the biddings of heaven. At 60, I heard them with docile ear. At 70, I could follow the dictates of my own heart, for what I desired no longer overstepped the boundaries of right. He who will not economize will have to agonize. To be able under all circumstances to practice 5 things constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 things are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? We take greater pains to persuade others that we are happy than in endeavoring to think so ourselves. The essence of knowledge is having it to use it. Lead the people with administrative injunctions, and put them in their place with penal law, and they will avoid punishments, but will be without a sense of shame. Lead them with excellence, and put them in their place through roles and ritual practices, and in addition to developing a sense of shame, they will order themselves harmoniously. They must often change who would remain constant in happiness and wisdom. Ability will never catch up with the demand for it. We should keep the dead before our eyes, and honor them as though still living. Speak the truth. Do not yield to anger. Give, if thou art asked for little. By these 3 steps, thou wilt go near the gods. When you have faults, do not fear to abandon them. Anyone can find the switch after the lights are on. Act with kindness, but do not expect gratitude. The demands that good people make are upon themselves. Those that bad people make are upon others. A superior man in dealing with the world is not for anything or against anything. He follows righteousness as the standard. As the water shapes itself to the vessel that contains it, so a wise man adapts himself to circumstances. It is when those who are not strong enough have made some moderate amount of progress that they fail and give up. Return good for good. Return evil with justice. When everyone hates a person, you should investigate thoroughly. And when everyone loves a person, you should also investigate thoroughly. The man who chases two rabbits catches neither. Think of tomorrow. The past can't be mended. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the three universally recognized moral qualities of man. Fine words and an insinuating appearance are seldom associated with true virtue. Learn avidly. Question it repeatedly. Analyze it carefully. Then put what you have learned into practice intelligently. You are what you think. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading, or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. Success depends upon previous preparation. An oppressive government is more to be feared than a tiger. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Three things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The true gentleman does not preach what he practices till he has practiced what he preaches. If you try to do too much, you will not achieve anything. You can successfully force people to follow a certain course, but you cannot force them to understand it. Do not let a leader lead you on a bad path. To be truly happy and contented, you must let go of what it means to be happy or content. It is not possible for one to teach others who cannot teach his own family. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. I'd rather die for speaking out than to live and be silent. Words are the voice of the heart.